Good morning, Kasturians. Today, in this concluding video, we will discuss about the Royal Center of Chapter and Imperial Capital Vijayanagara. So let's start. In the previous video, we have seen the Amarnayaka system, the Nayaks, and the urban core. So in this video we will see the royal center of the Vijayanagar Empire. The royal center was located in the southwest part of the settlement, which included 60 temples. The patronage of temples was important for rulers because they were trying to establish the authority through association with the divinities which were housed in the shrines. About 30 buildings they have been identified as palaces, and the temples and secular buildings they were different in a way that the temples were constructed the Mahanavami Dibba based on the form of the buildings as well as their functions. Some of the structures they have been assigned some names, like the King's Palace was the largest of the enclosures but was not used as the royal residence. It was having two platforms, first the audience hall and second the Mahanavami Dibba. The audience hall was actually a high platform with slots for wooden pillars at close and regular intervals, and it was having a staircase which was going up to the second floor, and this second floor it was resting on these pillars, these wooden pillars. The Mahanavami Dibba was a massive platform which was rising from a base of around 11,000 square feet to a height of around 40 feet. Evidences supports it that it was a wooden structure, and the base of the platform is covered with relief carvings. The significance of Mahanavami festival in the Vijayanagar Empire. This Mahanavami festival was celebrated with great enthusiasm in the Vijayanagar Empire. Mahanavami means the great ninth day. It was actually is a part of a 10-day Hindu festival of September and October, which was known variously as the Shehra in the northern India, Durga Puja in Bengal, Navratri or Mahanavami in peninsular India. The Vijayanagara kings they displayed their prestige, power and suzerainty on this occasion. The ceremonies they were performed on the occasion, which included worship of the image, worship of the statues, worship of the state horse and the sacrifice of buffaloes and other animals, dances, wrestling matches and procession of caparisoned horses, elephants and chariots and soldiers, as well as ritual presentation before the king and his guests by the chief Nayakas and the subordinate kings. They marked this occasion. These ceremonies they were imbued with deep symbolic meanings. On the last day of the festival, the king he inspected his army and the armies of the Nayakas in a grand ceremony in an open field. And on this occasion, the Nayaks they bought rich gifts for the king as well as the stipulated tributes. The other prominent buildings in the royal center included the Lotus Mahal and the Hazra Rama temple. According to the historians, in the royal center, the Lotus Mahal was a beautiful building, and according to Colin Mackenzie, might be it was the place where the council members they met the king along with his advisors. So you can say it was a council chamber where the king used to meet his advisors. And the Hazra Rama temple was one of the most spectacular building found in the royal center. This was probably meant to be used only by the king and his family. Now we will see the sacred center. In the sacred center, we have various traditions. The hills of northern region, they sheltered the monkey kingdom of Vali and Sugriva mentioned in the Ramayana. Other traditions, they suggest that Pampa Devi, the local mother goddess, did penance in these hills in order to marry Vinipaksha, the guardian deity of the kingdom, and he also recognized as a form of Shiva. Now the features of the temples of Vijayanagara we will see. The Vijayanagara kings, they encouraged temple building as it conveyed a divine association between the deity and the kings, and using this they can win hearts of their people. The Vijayanagara kings, they claimed to rule on behalf of god Virupaksha, and all royal orders, they were signed Sri Virupaksha, usually in the Kannada script. The rulers, they also indicated their close links with the gods by using the titles like Hindu Surat Ratna. This word was actually a Sanskritization of the Arabic term Sultan, that means king. So literally this word Hindu Surat Ratna meant Hindu Sultan. The Vijayanagara kings, they made grants to temples, and the temples, they were developed as centers of social and cultural activities. The kings, they visit to the temple, and these visits were important occasion, and he was accompanied by the Nayakas during his visits to the temple. During this period, certain few features were evident in the temple architecture, and these included the structures of enormous size that must have been built to mark the imperial authority. One of the best examples is Raya's Gopurams or royal gateways that often dwarfed the towers and the central shrines. These enormous Gopurams, they were actually used as a signal for the presence of temple from a great distance, and these towering gateways, they reminded about the power of the king who could command the resources, techniques and skills that was required to construct them. The mandaps or pavilions, which were a long pillared corridor, this was actually a distinctive feature of the temple architecture of the Vijayanagara Empire, and these long pillared corridors, they ran around the shrines within the temple complex. And one of the best example of this is the Virupaksha temple. The Virupaksha temple was built over centuries, and the inscriptions found suggest that this shrine date to the 9th 10th centuries. On the occasion of his coronation, Krishna Devaraya, he built the elaborate hall in the front of the main shrine, and this hall was adorned with delicately carved pillars. Eastern Gopuram was also built by Raja Krishnadev Rai. The temple halls, they were used for various purposes. In some spaces, images of gods were placed to witness special programs of music, dance, drama, etc. And the other space was used to celebrate the marriages of the deities, and yet others were meant for the deities to swing in. On such occasions, small images other than those kept in the central shrine were used. In the Vitthal temple, the principal deity was Vithala, a form of Vishnu, which was generally worshipped in Maharashtra, and this temple has several hills, and a unique shrine designed as a chariot. A characteristic feature of this Vithala temple was the temple complex, in which the chariot streets that extended from the Gopuram, temple Gopuram, in a straight line. And these streets, they were paved with stone slabs and lined with parallel pavilions where merchants set up their shops. Now, various steps which were involved in mapping of the site at Hampi by Colin Mackenzie. The first step was to divide the entire area into a set of 25 squares, with each square designated by a letter of the alphabet. Then each of these small squares were subdivided into a set of even smaller squares. Each of these smaller squares were further subdivided into yet smaller units, and these detailed surveys, they have been extremely painstaking, and they have recovered thousands of structures from tiny shrines and residences to elaborate the temples. Now we will see how the buildings, they acted as a source of information. See, the buildings, they provide useful information in understanding the past. The buildings that survive, they tell us about the ways spaces were organized and were used, how they were built, with what material and what technique they were built. We can access the defense requirements and military preparedness of a city by studying its fortifications. The buildings, they also tell us about the spread of the ideas and other cultural influences. If we wish to compare them with other buildings in other places, these buildings, they convey ideas which the builders or their patrons have wished to project, to complete the project. And the possibility for reconstructing the history of Vijayanagara was made feasible not only by the architectural evidences but also by the written accounts of certain travelers who visited the Vijayanagar Empire. Some of the prominent travelers who visited the Vijayanagar Empire and left their travel accounts were Niccolo de Conti, who was an Italian trader, and an ambassador named Abdul Razzaq, who was sent by the ruler of Persia, and a merchant named Afanasy Nikitin, he was from Russia. All of them, they visited the city in the 15th century. The Portuguese travelers like Duarte Barbosa, Domingo Pais, and Fernando Nunes, they also visited the city during the 16th century. That's all we have in this video. Thank you and have a nice day.